Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. Live from the Den, Legacy Internet Radio. Thank y'all to everybody who is continuing to listen to the show tonight. We appreciate the guests that we've had. Our brother Tavon was here with us, and we lost him, but we appreciate him being in. We have Jody with us probably for another 10 minutes or so, and of course we are rocking with our brother Joe and our sister, the Dating Pool Diva. We asked the question, what the hell? What the hell is a segment that we do on the show that when you hear stuff, it literally makes you cock your head to the side and say, what the hell? And you can't just say what the hell, Joe.
No.
You got to say what the hell with the face.
Yes.
What the hell? Facebook Live. What the hell?
In the Steve Harvey. What the
Yeah.
hell?
What the hell?
In the hell?
Before we get to what the hell, I'm gonna ask the question, but I gotta give two very, very, very special shout outs. I gotta give a special shout out to Jeanette Burnett and George Wright.
Shout out.
And shout out
Woo,
to
woo.
Jeanette and George. They have been very, very supportive to me and the crew here at Legacy Internet Radio and social media. They're good friends of my dad, Pop J. And I had been made aware that they've been helpful to me, so I wanted to thank them publicly. Appreciate the love from Jeanette and George. Appreciate you guys. And you know how stepping with Marcus J. All right, we're going to ask what the hell, Jody, you up first. This one I'm getting from the New York Post.
All right.
You've been here. You know what we're doing. What the hell? You know where we're going.
I'm with it. Let's go.
Italy is thinking about offering women paid menstrual leave. Yes. Italy could be the first Western country to offer paid menstrual leave to women experiencing painful periods. The country's parliament has been discussing the measure, which would mean companies have to offer 3 paid days off each month to women who get bad aches. It's not the first time this kind of legislation has been mooted, with countries including Japan and Indonesia already allowing women time off. Experts have previously argued it makes sense as it would make workers feel happier and more comfortable. While that's the view of some in Italy, not everyone agrees. Reports the Washington Post. Marie Claire has praised the proposal, saying it proves the country is about progress. However, women's magazine Donna Moderna, Lorenza Platera, feared it might backfire on ladies. She voiced concern that that kind of legislation might make some firms think twice before taking on women. Writer Miriam Goy penned a piece for The Vice Italy, where she stated it could also compound the stereotype that women are more emotional at times in their menstrual cycle. The issue is certainly a hotly debated topic in the UK. There's more here, but I think we've properly set it up. So the question, the question to the panel is, how do we feel about paid leave for menstrual cramps?
Well, first of all, I would like to research how much it costs to go on over to Italy, and what is the price of living over there and things like that, because I might want to consider uprooting my whole life.
I know that's right.
And I swear, and for Europeans, there's never been a better time to be an Italian. But I swear, stuff like that going on only because they give it up to the queen so much. Nowhere else would stuff like that go down, showing that much love. But that's dope. However, I think that's going to backfire because the way the world is now, everybody is about me. Look at me. You know, everybody wants their attention and their rights. Next thing you don't know, you're going to have men, coming up, well, shoot, we got to work by the sweat of our brow. We need some days off too. We hustling, putting bacon on the table. What about us?
Right.
I can see that backfiring. I can see then you got the transvestites coming out. Well, the world puts so much pressure on me. It's hard to live. I need 3 days off. I can see that turning into all kinds of a whirlwind. It's a beautiful notion. I'm so happy that they love women so much that they would even consider such a thing. Like, that's a serious thing.
That's a serious thing.
And you know what else will happen?
What's that?
All of a sudden, women will suddenly come down with a hormone a chemical imbalance and have 2 periods a month, something wrong with my lymph nodes, and my period lasted for a whole 2 weeks. So my hormones is off, and my estrogen needs to be calculated.
And how would you discover that? I mean, who would do the research?
I can just see all kinds of issues coming out of that.
That's what I'm saying. And
like that was a real thing for someone that I hold near and dear to me. She had a problem with her hormones, and her lymph nodes and things were off, and her cycle was lasting for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Let me transition and get a new participant onto the show.
Then you're gonna have the chicks
joining.
See, you get me going on things that now.
Joining us. She joins us when she has an opportunity. Our sister Shayna Latia is here. What's up, Shayna?
Hi.
How you doing?
Oh, I just got back from 2 hours of Body by Maria.
So you feeling
nice.
all worked out over there? The question on the question on the floor is Italy. They're proposing having menstrual leave for women on their periods. They get 3 days paid off per month in Italy. They haven't gotten it yet, but they're talking about potentially legislating it. They're already doing it in Indonesia and Japan. What you think about it?
I need to move there.
Right?
That is awesome because we really can't control this. It's an energy thing. It's a physical thing. It's a lot of things that go into being a woman, and for real, them first 3 days, bro, we be angry.
You know what I mean?
The anger starts at least a week before, and that's when we know, it's about to come. It's more than just physical. We're gonna bleed this week. It is a whole lot, and I really am starting to feel that the older I get, because in my 20s, I never had any issues with PMS, none of that, but after I turned 30, oh my God, that week before I become just a monster, and I try to do a lot of yoga and working out, and that helps with that, but 3 days off of pay? We need that here in the United States.
I tell you, we got some serious bra-burning chicks from the 60s and 70s just rolling over in their grave right now. How dare they say we need special treatment?
Which first of all, our sister,
I need all that fighting in the 70s.
Our sister Neek is checking us out. She co-hosts I Got Something to Say with Tavon on Saturdays. She's all for it. She's.
I mean, I'm for it as a woman, but
she's all for it.
Don't try to play me like I can't do stuff.
Our sister.
Oh
Laurel
well, yeah, I feel that.
Our sister.
If it's free, I'm taking it.
Our sister Laurel is checking us out, and she said that she's trying to move to Italy.
Right, sister soldier.
Yeah.
What's inflation like over there, though?
Yeah, who knows? So we about to lose you, Jody. I appreciate you giving us a little bit.
Thank y'all for having me. Shout out y'all. Love Legacy Internet Radio. Former Redeem Center Friday. Come through Henrico Theater. See you there.
We appreciate you. Thank you. And come on over here and give me some love. The brother's gonna walk you to your car. Love you, baby. Appreciate you. Diva, he's gonna walk you to your car. Make sure you get safe. Do your
I'll move to the end
and whatnot. See, this is what we do. We take breaks so that we can give each other love. That's how we do it here at Legacy Internet Radio and whatnot. So let me ask you this, Diva. You heard the question.
Yes.
You didn't get a chance to respond. So while we're kind of transitioning and kind of getting reset up here, because we got a couple more that we're going to get to. What's your thoughts?
Well, at first I was like, yes, you heard me. I was like, yeah, that'd be good to get, 3 days off for, that type of thing. But then you started mentioning how it could backfire because, people will view you a certain kind of way, like in a weak form. They already look at women as being weak. And so us taking time off for our menstrual cycle would probably take that attitude further, But, I mean, I wouldn't really care because if I was able to do that and I needed to, then I would do that. I think that would be a good thing for people who have, like, endometriosis.
Or, like, severe PMS.
Yeah,
like, they go
severe.
to the doctors for severe PMS. Like, it is a real disorder. It's a real thing. I really don't care if they was to view me as being weak. I got 3 days off for free pay. I'm taking it. To hell with what y'all feel.
This is one of those. This is one of those cases when it's hard sometimes because when you have like racial stuff that comes up, and white folk give their opinion, sometimes you want to look at them and say, "Nah, not right now."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Not right now. Like everybody's opinion is valued. Like your opinion is valued, but you should probably be careful about how you express it. As a man, I kind of feel like that with this one, but I brought it up, so I have to offer an opinion. I don't think that it's a wise thing to do, mostly because of what they said in the end piece of that article. And obviously, I don't know what it's like to be a woman. I like women. I've seen women. I've seen some of the things that you go through. My mom was a woman. But let me take this call. Ain't no how stepping with Marcus J live from the Den. Legacy Internet Radio. Caller, you on the air. What's your name? What you want to call about?
Hey, Marcus, it's Laurel. I must have a world's record for calling in.
You do. How you doing, sis?
Hi, Laura.
I'm doing great. My thought on that is I lived in Europe, and we're looking at this from an American viewpoint. They don't look at things the same way over there. They get 4 weeks vacation, paid vacation for part-time jobs.
Okay.
So they got a whole and then I get to get off the phone. But they have a whole different way of looking at this. Like, we're debating this. They're like, they're there already.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? For them, it's a whole different ball game.
Right.
It's a different mindset.
Yeah. I guess, everything is different. They're a lot more liberal over there with their bodies and things of that sort that I've been made aware of. So I can certainly...
They're crazy over there. They're crazy. They don't have half the hang-ups we do here.
Yeah. And here we are, the young country. The young country, they've been around a lot longer, and we're the ones that's uptight and whatnot. So, well, I got you. I appreciate you. We're going to go to the next topic, Laurel. I'm going to hold you on the line. I want you to answer this question first. But before I do that, I want to get Joe's opinion. Hold the line, Laurel, okay?
Okay.
Joe, you're back with us after having walked Jody outside. The question is, Italy is they're trying to give women paid leave for menstrual issues 3 days a month. What do you think about that? Think it's something that would be appropriate, inappropriate?
That issue, I think, is going to not work in a sense, because I think that overall, if you look at it, who's going to really research behind who's doing what with that? It just seems like something that would be tedious. Right. To try to get someone to actually go behind a person and see if they actually are going through that particular thing.
And then if you have,
understand what I'm saying?
And then if you have women who, then you have to deal with women who have irregular cycles. You don't know when it's going to be there. And then you have some that may have a challenging month versus a not challenging month.
Right.
And again, it's one of those situations as a man, it's hard for me to feel comfortable commenting on that. But I had to say that. Ain't no how step on Marcus J. All right, this next one, Laurel, you're up first. I want you to comment before we let you go. Okay, you still with me?
Okay.
Okay. This one right here.
I think we should have menopausal leave, actually.
Menopausal?
Menopausal leave.
For those,
for some years.
for those women of a certain age, right? All right, I'm getting this one from the Washington Post, okay? This one, the headline is Lawmaker Who Called Pregnant Women Host Pushes Bill Requiring Fathers to Approve Abortions. Now, Laurel, I know you and I talked very, very briefly about this in social media. I'm going to kind of read a little bit of it for the listening audience as well as the folks in the room. But it's a bill advancing in Oklahoma that would require a woman to get written consent of the fetus father before obtaining an abortion. The bill, which passed out of the House committee Tuesday last week, would require women, quote, to provide in writing the identity of the father of the fetus to the physician who is to perform or induce the abortion. The bill's author, Representative Justin Humphrey, is the person who, he basically used the phrase a host. A woman is a host while she's pregnant, a host. So there's a whole lot to the article, but I think we've properly set it up. There's two different things that we're dealing with. The first that we're dealing with is the rhetoric that we used. A pregnant woman is a host for the fetus. That's the first thing. And the second thing is the pregnant woman must get written consent from the father before getting an abortion. Floor is yours, Laurel. What you think?
Okay, first of all, I want to say, is this the same person that would call themselves pro-life?
Yes.
Because a pro-life person probably wouldn't use a word like host. But a host is what is your body a host for? Parasites? And we talked about this the other day. We had a whole discussion with one of the other fellows that was on that post. That's a wide open question, and I'm going to come out and say this. I was a rape victim, and I had an abortion, and thank God I was able to, because I did not want to carry that child into this world. And if I had to give that person's identity to somebody else for their approval, oh no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so. But and even if that didn't happen to me, I still don't think that's anybody's business.
Right. Right.
And your body, you do what you do what you need to do with it.
Right. Right.
I can understand, not using it as a form of birth control, but to have to have a man's consent, no.
That's a tough one, Laura. Appreciate you, sis. Thank you for being such a special person to us. Thank you. And you know how Stephen with Marcus J. live from the Dan Legacy Internet Radio, 804-402-2893, the number to dial. The lines are still open. Diva, the guy called a woman a host while she is carrying a fetus. This is the same person who is sponsoring a bill in Oklahoma that will require written consent from the father before there is an abortion. What's your thoughts on that?
It's like assuming that the woman is just an organism. She's just carrying, like you said, a parasite. And like she doesn't have a soul, like she's not a human being. So she has the choice to do what she needs to do, like Laurel said, with her body. No man should be able to step in and say that. Now, I do believe that if you're in a relationship or you're married or whatever, you should talk to the other person. You should talk to the father. But it should not be a consent or approval type of thing.
Well, I was going to ask you about that, because you could box yourself in if you say you should talk to him. And the reason why I say that is, what's the next step? Isn't the next step getting permission? Now, obviously you should talk to him. I mean, obviously you should. That goes, in my opinion, without saying. But if we say that, if we say it out loud, we should talk to him, and we get to a point where we start legislating that, then that could get tricky with regards to legislation. What do you think about that?
No, I don't think it should be a law, but just to say, casually you should mention it to the significant other. But at the end of the day, you're not going to ask permission or at the end of the day, it's your decision.
Right.
That's basically what I'm saying.
Right. Okay. Joe, you're a man. I'm going to get Shayna's opinion here in a minute, but as a man, when you hear a legislator refer to a woman who's pregnant as a host, versus that same legislator offering legislation that would require her to get not just permission, but written permission. You would guess that written permission probably means it probably got to be notarized. Like, we need to know that this is a real person and he's honestly the one. And she's got to call him out. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, one thing I think that you're taking away a person's rights, as far as if you feel that they need to do something with this issue. If you feel like that and the person that's having the issue doesn't feel like that, how do you have control to say what they need to do?
Right.
And ultimately what the decision should be.
Right.
When it has nothing to do with you.
Right. Right.
So that personally, how I feel about that is that you need to disregard what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? As far as a person is concerned, no, I'm not going to listen to somebody else from outside telling me what to do and how I should live with a child.
Right.
And I'm definitely not going to listen to him as far as how you're going to talk about, a woman or, any woman that I, feel is has a baby by me, and talking to her in relevance as a host. That's like a dog, or something like that. So I would never value your opinion or whatever you're saying.
I think it's one of the most disrespectful things a man could possibly say, to be honest with you, to call a woman a host. Like a host. Shayna, he said that she's a host while she's carrying a fetus. He also wants to make it legal to he wants to legislate her getting his permission to get an abortion. What do you think about that?
I think it's total BS. I think that he is just a hater of women. Like, he's jealous. Like, I feel like that's just some little schoolboy, all the girls were better than you your whole life, and now you just really want to take it out on everybody. Like, that's crazy. As for getting some man, listen, I will forge that piece of paper. He said, give it to me. I ain't got time for that BS either. Like, honestly, like, I think that's crazy. Now, I do believe if you're in a relationship with somebody, unless you know he ain't the daddy, unless you know you done stepped out and you got to get this done real quick before somebody find out. Let's be real, ladies. Life is real out here. Y'all already know. You know. Unless you know inside your heart.
Oh,
and ladies, y'all know who y'all baby daddies is. While y'all talking all this treasure, you don't know. You know inside your heart that he won't it and that other one was. If you know that it's going to be bad and you got to get rid of that real quick, I mean, do that. But if you're in a relationship with somebody and you don't feel like you can, but he feels like he can, I think you should go to some type of counseling and come to an agreement. But I do understand if you don't feel like going through that process with your body, it's a 9-month process. I've been through it twice, and let me tell you something. It is not a walk in the park.
What you think?
Seriously.
What you think on this, Diva? You wanted to jump back in?
Yeah, I had another point too. Most of the time when people want to get abortions, a lot of the time, they're in desperate, situations. So like Laurel mentioned, rape, you know what I'm saying? Or he's just deadbeat or whatever. How you going to get that signature?
Right.
That you need to get the abortion.
You're gonna get it from the guy that raped you.
Right.
Yeah. No, I got you. That's a good point. I hadn't thought about that.
Right.
And hashtag on
What if
Marcus
he
J
dies?
live from the den. Legacy Internet Radio 804-402-2893 is the number to dial. I want to ask you guys about the Oscars. The reason why I ask you guys about the Oscars, I saw a meme that came out, and I like memes. Memes a lot of times could give you a perspective that having a conversation may not give you because it's quick. It's right there. It's in your face. I'm going to show you something here in a minute, crew, and I'm going to just read it to the listeners since I can't show them. But the meme basically says, quote, and this is not my words, I'm reading the meme, "I'm not implying that these performances were not stellar. I'm presenting the question, is the White Academy Committee ignoring black stellar performances that depicts the black communities more positively? Do you not see their campaign to always equate black people with negativity?" In the photograph, it has the black Oscars in recent memory from, what's her name, Lupita Nyong'o, who won for 12 Years a Slave, the Muslim brother whose name is escaping me, who won for the movie where he played the drug dealer, Moonlight is the name of it. And I watched Moonlight, and I came away literally with the blank stare. I literally had a blank stare on my face the whole time. What's the sister's name from Viola Davis, who won? She played an abuse wife. Halle Berry won when she was in that movie, and she was an adulterous wife. Mm-hmm. We know that Monique won when she was in Precious. Mom. She was the abusive mom. And, of course, Denzel won as a criminal cop. Now, Viola Davis is probably one of the best actresses of our generation. Mm-hmm. Halle Berry has done a lot of work. Would say she's a great actress, but I'd say that she's been in a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. Denzel, I mean, really, do we even need to go through his resume? No, we don't. And Monique, while her performance was outstanding in Precious, I can't say that I've seen her be great in anything else. And Lupita and the Muslim fellow, we ain't seen much of them. The point is, and the question that I'm asking, Diva, is there something to that? Because I got to be honest with you, if you go all the way back to Hattie McDaniel in the 50s, she won, and she was a maid or a domestic. Mm-hmm. Have we ever seen a situation? I guess the only one that comes to my mind is the supporting character that Denzel won in Glory. But I mean, they were a regiment that weren't even supposed to be that high up military. Like, that was the first time, and they were led by a white man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So is there anything to this, or are we being sensitive as black folk?
I think there's definitely a trend, and I think that there's an agenda, for the black community. If Taraji P. Henson does not win for her role in Hidden Figures, then I am suspicious, because she was awesome. If y'all saw that movie, she was awesome in that movie.
Especially
and the other
scene
actresses
the
too.
scene after the rain. Yeah. That was
Oh,
the scene.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was the scene that needs to win. But yeah, I got you.
Definitely she needs to win something.
Yeah.
Oscar, Academy. I don't know the difference between them, but
Well, the Oscar,
she need to get something.
The Oscars for movies, the Tonys for stage, and then the
Academy Award.
The Oscars, Tony, which one is TV? Emmy is TV.
Emmy,
And then Grammy, of course, is music. Shana, what do you think about this? What's your thoughts on it?
I reposted that meme because that is so true. There are many, many, many movies out here. I mean, for example, Denzel in Malcolm X.
Right.
He should have been won an Academy Award for that, but it's like when they depict us in such a great light, we never win anything. But play the slave driver, or play a madam.
Yeah.
Play a drug dealer. Play a corrupt cop. Play a stripper. Play anything that keeps us at a certain level. So when we see these awards, these people winning these awards, we're like, hey, they winning awards for this. This is real life for us. You know what I'm saying? So we doing all right.
Right.
So they're not pushing themselves to go even further, because at the end of the day, they're winning awards for being these low-level vibrational beings that these people go through in real life every day.
Right.
It's normal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's normal to see a corrupt cop. It's normal to see her stripping. It's normal to see, a mother abusing her child. That's normal. So we all right.
Yeah.
They winning awards for it.
Right.
Our lives are great. They're not seeing Taraji P. Henson should have won. She should have beat out Moonlight. I really thought Moonlight was a good movie, but it was hard. It was a real ratchet movie. Seriously, real seriously. Do the white people like the ratchet life that we live?
Well, there's something that
they be at all the shows, every ratchet show.
What you think, Joe?
When you want to come to an analysis of what an Oscar is, and you kind of wonder, what it's all about, and it throws you off, throws you off a little bit, is when you get 3 6 Mafia to get an Oscar.
What?
They got a
And-
Grammy. They got a
They won an Oscar.
They got an
They won an
Oscar.
Oscar?
Listen to me.
Yeah, it was an Oscar.
Do you understand what I'm saying? This is when you just pause for a minute. Just pause for a minute. Okay? And then you have to do okay, so what is this Oscar thing about really? You see what I'm saying? You really have to do your analysis then. It was for
best song for the movie.
Yeah.
They won an Oscar for best song for
the movie
Hustle and Flow.
Hustle and
Flow.
Right. So what
all
I'm saying is,
The movie was terrible.
all I'm saying is, this is when you need to reevaluate that. From that point on, as far as Oscars was concerned, to me, I had no more interest in whatever their opinions was, because who does that? Where do you do something like that? That is not a representation of anything that is dealing with you got all these stars, black entertainers who have put years and years and years of work into the screen industry. And your best choice of that particular time frame is 3 6 Mafia.
Hard Out Here for a Pimp.
Right.
What was the song? Whoop that trick. It was whoop that trick. Yeah. You know what? I didn't even think about that.
You see?
I remember when they won that Oscar, they didn't even think they was gonna win.
Right.
They got on stage, they didn't write no speech. They was like, I want to thank God, I guess.
I totally agree with you on that though, Joe, because and you too, Diva, and Shayna Laurel is loving you based on what you just said. She's totally agreeing. I think what we do oftentimes is we lower the standard. And when the standard is lower, once you reach above a low standard, you think you're doing something, but you ain't doing nothing. Because, I mean, no disrespect to 3-6 Mafia. They worked. They were awarded. I got no issue with them. My issue ain't with them. My issue is with the Academy. Because when we talked earlier about, like when Jody and Tavon were here, and we were talking about the reality TV, like we celebrate ratchet. We celebrate, you know, things that are not based in positivity, when the reality is the positive is more common. It's more common. People like the Diva with her businesses, and people like Shayna with her yoga, and people like you, Joe, doing what you're doing, and Tavon with his businesses, and Jody being an outstanding artist, and me running Legacy Media Group. Like, we are normal. Mm-hmm. We are normal. Mm-hmm. A pimp pimping out his girlfriend in Hustle and Flow is not normal. But that is what won. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like the drug dealer in Moonlight, you know, while he, aside from his business, if you watch the movie, you can see that he was a noble guy. He just happened to be a drug dealer. And it's hard to separate those two things.
We see that every day.
We see it every day.
It's normal.
We see it every day. But did Concussion win anything with Will Smith? Did John Q win anything with Denzel Washington?
And that was an awesome movie.
But the point is, we spend so much time celebrating nonsense, and we are our own worst enemy. So we can't turn around and get mad at the Academy for turning Denzel Washington into an Oscar winner, when we in the hood doing the same thing. We running around calling each other the N-word and dropping it like it's nothing to it. But then when somebody white says it, we got a problem.
Well,
we got to take responsibility here.
The Academy likes the ratchetness. They want, it's an agenda, like you said. They want to keep us down. We see these people winning awards for it. We think it's great. They don't push themselves. They want an Oscar for that. Oh, pimping is normal. He got an Oscar for that. That's cool. Let's do it. Why not? It's a glamorous life. Like Hollywood is glamour, and that's what they glamorize. They not making no movies about nobody struggling from the hood, made it to becoming a top-notch lawyer. You know, that's not going to make any money. No. So let's just make, you know, so it's all about A, what we buy, 2, what we see, and 3, what we look up to.
Last thing that I'm going to say on the topic, one more that I'm going to get to, then we need to move on to other stuff. But if you turn on what would be considered white radio stations and you listen to the music that they're selling to little white kids, versus turning on Power 92 and hearing Rihanna sing about sex with me, you know, it's not a conspiracy, it's a plan. Because they don't sell that crap to their kids, but they'll sell it to ours. So what do? We don't support it. But no, that's lazy. It's lazy to not support it. We can talk about how people have issues with Colin Kaepernick. We want to support him. The way you support him is to boycott the NFL, but ain't nobody going to do that. Right. You got to get your football. You got to get your football. You know, support ain't easy. It's not easy. It's not simple. It's work. And so people don't want to do the work. You know, if I put a post up about how I got, you know, great guests and all of these wonderful things that we all doing, I might get a few likes. There'll be a few people, you know, that'll click on the like button. But if I post that I'm going to have Cardi B on the show, I bet you that people would tune in to listen to me then. You know what I'm saying? And so that's kind of the problem. Ain't no how step on Marcus J. Live from the Dan Legacy Internet Radio. One last thing, and I want real quick hits with this so we can get out of the segment and get to the Diva Diaries. You saw the story last week about the white dude who traveled on a bus from Baltimore up to New York for the sole purpose of killing a black man. Joe, I want you in on this one. Sole purpose of killing a black man. He found one, didn't want to kill him. Then he finally does find one that he does kill. He was hoping to get a rush from killing, but he didn't get the rush. He feels that he didn't get the rush because he ended up killing an old man instead of a young man. You from New York? I'm from New Jersey. We're from that area. I'm from a part of New Jersey where all the news and media and everything that we get is New York, and so that's our hood.
Right.
What's your thoughts? And you're a black man. It could have been you and me, bro.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
Well, I think personally, I'll just wonder this. This is just one thing I have. I just have a question of how is it that we're able to track, you know, people who are doing things, like let's just say, just to be on the subject, but kind of a little bit off the subject. Remember the white guy who went to the church and he shot the people at the church in South Carolina?
Yep.
Yeah, home eating
Okay,
right now.
and no one knew what was going to happen. He just happened to get in the church. He just happened to sit down in the church, and he went off. What I'm saying, my point is this: if we got all this special intelligence, all this Google, search this and do that, and military stuff that can do all these magnificent, fantastic things. How do we not know this person is traveling on a bus from this location to this location? Listen, and not only did he do one person, listen, he went to a next person. It wasn't, the first one wasn't even good. So it's not, I almost find it baffling to say that no one knew about any of these persons' movements enough to be able, I'm talking about law enforcement, to be able to prevent.
Well, the only
place.
thing that I will say to that is, you don't know what's gonna happen until it happens.
True.
Like Minority Report. That's what that's about. They can predict a crime. The unfortunate reality is, unless his social media did some sort of flags, which by most accounts in his case it did, but it doesn't always get to the point where they got their eyes on you until you actually do something. And that's the unfortunate, scary part reality, like Dylan Roof. There was plenty of stuff that he was doing in social media, but they couldn't predict where he was going to go and what he was going to do. And just thinking about being an asshole is not a crime. You got to actually be an asshole to actually be a criminal. If you understand the analogy that I'm making.
I do.
Well, how close were the two events where he
Couple
was?
of blocks. There was a couple of blocks
okay.
between when he was watching and stalking a guy versus when he actually found the guy that he killed.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. A couple of shout outs we're getting. My brother, actually, my blood brother, is checking us out. What up, big bro Jay? And of course, Cure Pigal Prescott is checking us out. So peace to Cure Pigal as well. And #Step with Marcus J live from the den. Legacy Internet Radio. There's so much that I could say on this one. We don't have a whole lot of time. I need to take us out of this segment. The only thing that I will say is, the President of the United States spends a lot of time talking about banning people from coming from other countries, when the reality is, if you do your research, you will find that white males are the biggest terrorists in America. I'm not saying that to be disparaging. I'm saying it because it's already been documented as a fact by the FBI crime statistics. When you look at terroristic acts committed on American soil since 9/11, white males are the biggest perpetrator of said crimes. And so if you're in your feelings about that, check me and call me and tell me where I'm wrong. It's not going to be Amir killing your family. It's going to be John or Jacob, that's going to be killing your family. So the reality is, we need to pay attention to what's going on domestically. And also keep in mind, this is the last thing I'll say for real, but the Black Panther Party was started for the sole purpose of protecting black people from white people and the Ku Klux Klan, and they were eradicated and they no longer exist, but the KKK still lives. Ask yourself why that is. And #Step with Marcus J live from the Den Legacy Internet Radio. We're going to take a break. We come back. We got the Diva Diaries. Dana Poot Diva is in the room. My sister Shannon, our brother Joe Bailey, yours truly. Marcus J, be back in a few. I'm here with the crew. Thank you for staying with us. Be back in 5.
And I'm listening to my man, my brother, Marcus J, right here on Legacy Internet Radio. Hey, this is Warren Ballantyne, the #1 truth writer in America, and I'm listening to my man, my brother, Marcus J, right here on Legacy Internet Radio.